Dear students, welcome to our class on Drought Climatology Basics 1. Drought Climatology Basics 1. See, actually, drought is one of the inevitable occurrences on the earth. Drought is one of the inevitable occurrences on the earth. So, with reference to crops, agriculture crops, plantation crops, animals, poultry, piggery, and all animals related to veterinary sciences which comes under agriculture, they must and should, beloved students, you should know what is drought, what is its climatology, what are its, here in this class I am going to introduce after small classification, causes of drought, factors affecting the severity of the drought, classification of drought and negative and positive effects. This is the basics only I am going to discuss. Slowly we advance into basics 2, 3, so like that. Now, so a drought, as far as we, the agricultural meteorologists are concerned, drought is defined as a situation in which crops fail to mature because of insufficient soil moisture. Plants need soil moisture which comes from the water. So, drought actually, okay, there are different droughts which we discuss after a couple of minutes. Drought is a situation in which crops fail to mature because of insufficient soil moisture. Insufficient moisture, not water. Please note that this is the thing. Even though moisture comes from the water, okay, moisture we get even from different types of precipitation, rain, drizzle, shower, solid. These are the liquid forms, solid forms. Snow and hail, mixed forms, okay, sleet and glaze, like this, So, soil should have moisture. So, when crops fail to mature because of insufficient soil moisture, we, the agriculture meteorologists, define it as a drought. Now, so agriculture meteorologist means, so we cover starting from agriculture crops to plantation crops to, okay, animal husbandry and everything, all the animals. Now, see, drought is a recurring phenomenon. Okay, it is not going to end with one episode. So, if you see the history of India or if you see the history of globe, droughts are a recurring phenomenon. One of the possible reasons recent for occurrence of severe droughts is climate change and occupying the areas by the human beings and animals where is drought is a permanent. There the drought is a permanent phenomenon. However, due to human population, due to burgeoning human population or human population explosion, okay, so we are going to the areas where permanent droughts are there. Permanent. In the classification of drought, I will tell what exactly is a permanent. So, this is the basic introduction I would like to share with you. Now, please note that drought climatology, we are not going elaborately with reference to general climatology. Okay, so where agriculture meteorology students should learn those points only, we are going to discuss. You are going to get these points in the exams also. Now, here, see, drought causes enormous losses, okay, to crops, animals, therefore, huge losses to agriculture sector. Drought causes huge losses to agriculture sector, not only agriculture sector. When drought is there, power, the electricity production goes down. When droughts are there, water is one of the most crucial and critical input for the industry. Industry production go down. So, drought affects innumerable sectors, okay, which is agriculture sector is not away from this very adverse effects of drought. Now, see, the theory as far as agriculture meteorology or agriculture drought, agriculture students, agriculture meteorology students learn some theory about the drought. What are the causes of drought? See, first, what are the causes? Insufficient precipitation, that is number one, no doubt. But even if precipitation is there, lack of storage facilities. Okay, as far as agriculture drought is concerned, defective land preparation. Okay, defective conservation methods in the field and storage of water. Okay, in addition to that, please note that very high need all of a sudden arises due to for the supply of water. So that time also drought is there. Sometimes, water, the available water is available, plenty, but it is contaminated due to some processes. So these are the general causes of drought, and the severity of drought depends upon the drought policy of the nation. Number one drought policy of the nation, and the financial and social economic, that's what we call socio-economic status of the nation. So what is the mitigation policy, drought mitigation policy of the country, and the socio-economic status of the country, defines the severity of the drought. More nations have nowadays good financial resources. So in some countries where financial resources are not enough, so there the severity of the drought adversely affect the economy and socio-economic status. So this is what I would like to share with you. Now here the causes of drought, once again, just failure of sufficient precipitation, inadequate water conservation techniques, contamination of water, inadequate storage, insufficient conveyance facilities, abnormal demand. So these are the causes of drought. In addition, the atmospheric interaction with land and oceans. Land, oceans interact with the atmosphere. Atmosphere interact. It is a three-way process. So if any defect is there in the cycle, so drought also occurs. As I said, the severity of the drought depends upon the fundamentals of the economy of the country or state, and also the drought mitigation policy of the region. The drought mitigation policy of the region is very, very interesting. So every nation, in several of the research articles, of course, in my own experience, God had given me good opportunity to interact with the policymakers. Now, see, basic, at least some drought mitigation policy as far as India is concerned. India is a vast country. 60 to 65% of the population, 135 crore population of Indian subcontinent depends directly or indirectly on agriculture. So that's why the drought, even though India Meteorological Department excellently provides the weather variables and then information on how the drought is creeping. See, this bit will come. Drought is a creeping disaster. Drought is a creeping disaster which may lead to famine. So that's why, please note, very, very important, as far as India is concerned, the drought mitigation policy, excellent, and it lies with the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Even though India Meteorological Department is doing wonderful research, wonderful inputs and everything, so they give it to Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. They take the decision based on the excellent inputs from India Meteorological Department. That's why drought, climatology is a very big subject, but from agriculture point of view, we try to understand. So the classification of droughts in general. See, first, meteorological drought. Number one is the meteorological drought. What is meteorological drought? In a region, the climatologically expected rainfall deviates. Climatologically expected normal rainfall deviates. That's what we call it as a meteorological drought. 1 to 25% deficiency of the climatologically expected rainfall of that particular station or small region. Station means meteorological station. 1 to 25% deficit precipitation of the climatologically expected, we call it as a mild drought. 26 to 50% we call it as the moderate drought. More than 50% we call it as the severe drought. So meteorological drought is one of the most scientific way of defining the drought. So 1 to 25% mild, 26 to 50%. What is this 26 to 50%? Climatologically expected rainfall or precipitation of that particular station or region. Okay, the severe drought is more than 50%. Now, hydrological drought. This bit will come when meteorological drought prolongs, dash drought sets in. I repeat it. When meteorological drought prolongs, dash drought sets in. It is hydrological drought. What is hydrological drought? Hydrological resources are depleted of water. What are the hydrological resources of water? So, rivers, tanks, lakes, underground water, okay, wells, all these things. Okay, when these resources are deficient of water due to meteorological drought, okay, so the hydrological drought sets in. So this bit will come. When meteorological drought prolongs, dash drought sets in, it is the hydrological drought. The third one is the agricultural drought. What is agricultural drought? Beginning of the class I told. Agricultural drought is defined as a situation in which crops fail to mature because of insufficient soil moisture, not insufficient soil water, insufficient soil moisture. Moisture only is taken by the crops. Along with the moisture, of course, nutrients, macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, micronutrients. Okay, micronutrients. Okay, so those things, are taken with the moisture. So, moisture inadequate causes the agricultural drought. So, agricultural droughts are classified into again 3: early season, mid-season, late season agricultural drought. What is early season? When drought occurs just after the seedbed preparation, primary tillage, secondary tillage, seedbed preparation, sowing is done. Okay, drought occurs. So the seedlings won't germinate. Seeds won't germinate and seedlings won't emerge from the soil. Okay, that is the early season drought. What is the mid-season drought? For any agricultural crop, even for the animal, reproductive stage is very, very important as far as availability of water. Not only available, quality of availability of water plays an important role. So, if during the mid-growing season of the crop or animals, okay, if it is reproductive stage, okay, the severity of drought is more. The late season drought. Late season drought means, agriculture crops are concerned. For example, when late season drought occurs, okay, in the for the crops, the grain formation is affected. Even if grains are formed, you get shriveled grains because of which a farmer gets a low price. So these are three things in the agriculture drought. What are the three things in agriculture drought? Early season drought, mid-season drought, and late season drought. So again, going into further details of our classification of drought. So there is a socio-economic drought. Socio-economic drought. So this is very interesting. So communities, farmers, all the people in any region, they need water. For what? So daily needs. Even human body constitutes around 80 to 85% of the water. Okay, so the consumption of water by population, consumption of water for the availability of water is affected. Once it is affected, what will happen? Water scarcity affects the economy of the region. So what happens? The consequence effects are unemployment. Second thing is the migration of the people from drought-affected area to other areas. So this is what we call it as the socio-economic drought. And there is one drought called as the permanent drought. What is the permanent drought? Areas which are prone to drought where human population goes. Now, for example, this is associated with inadequacy of the rainfall or soil moisture to meet the water requirements of the crop during the most of the years. In 10 years, 5 to 6 years you won't get the water at all. However, farmers have to invariably try their luck. So this is what we call as the permanent drought. There is an apparent drought. The last one is apparent drought as far as agricultural meteorologists are concerned. Meteorological drought, hydrological drought, agricultural drought, and 3 types of socio-economic drought. And permanent drought, there is a apparent drought. What is apparent drought? Particularly agricultural meteorology students should learn it. Please understand very carefully. So, an area has to get, say, 600 mm rainfall. Good. The 600 mm rainfall is very good for raising a groundnut crop. That is peanuts. Okay. Arachius hypogeum. Now, so there we cannot grow a paddy crop. 500 to 600 mm rainfall, or even 450 mm rainfall. In 450 mm rainfall, we can grow successfully a jowar crop. But farmers, if the farmers go for a paddy crop cultivation, so the water requirement is 1200 mm. Okay, 1250 mm. Otherwise, this bit will come. Okay, so 1250 mm. So there is half more water requirement for the paddy. This is what we call it as the apparent drought. Jowar or groundnut would be a successful crop with 450 or 600 mm, whereas farmers go for a high water requirement crop like paddy. This is what as far as the classification is concerned. Now, I would like to discuss with you negative effects and positive effects. Positive effects are very limited. Negative effects I will cover after positive effects. It's very insignificant. Still, at the graduate level and the PG level, in the basic, you should know that the positive effects of drought. See, usually when rains are not occurring during the reproductive stage of sugarcane crop, the sucrose content will increase. Similarly, in case of groundnut, certain period during the vegetative phase, when it is exposed to the drought, the growth will be normal. Abnormal growth of groundnut above the ground surface is injurious because the flowers and then the gynophores won't. The flowers form and gynophores come from above the soil at a certain specific height. So, normal growth, which allows the flowers to produce the gynophores and entering into the soil for groundnut formation is very good. Similarly, in areas where snowfall is there, positive effects I am telling, there, the cost of removing the snow for daily activities is also reduced. And again, mosquito bites is also one of the things which is reduced during the during the times of drought. Another thing is, if drought is imminent, so policymakers takes decision for construction of very big reservoirs. So people get the employment. New structures will come from the funds of the state, or you can say any central government, or what we call it as. So much of the amount may pour into the area which would provide employment to the. These are the very nominal things with just 2 to 3% benefits are there. 98% are negative effects, which we discuss in only 1 minute. So the negative effects of droughts are first thing, land gets degraded. This is number 1. Due to drought, land gets degraded. Now, clay soils shrink, which we call it as the subsidence. Then the flora and fauna are badly affected, and you will not find any biomass. This is the third one. The fourth one is the droughts trigger forest fires, bush fires, grass fires, and also there is a possibility for conflicts among the states for sharing of the water during the years of drought, and inevitably food shortage and speculation. The rates of commodities, daily using commodities, even for the transportation, petrol, abnormal increase would be there. These are the most general negative effects of the drought, which account for 95%. Only 2 to 3% or maximum 5% of positive effects of droughts are there, which include less mosquito problems. Then removal of the snow, cost is reduced. Some new money enters into the area for the construction of reservoirs. above all. For certain crops, drought during the reproductive phase, particularly sugarcane, the sucrose content increases. So these are the very limited positive effects. 95% are negative effects. This is what I would like to share with you in the basics. This is the basic we advance from now. Thanking you very much for your patient hearing.